everyone and happy Monday. We have another planner day and we have a beautiful picture from World of Flowers, I think. Now what I thought I would do with this one was show you something that I'm not sure I've shown you before, or if I have it was a long time ago, how to do a black background on a page. Now that sounds quite simple. Well, surely you just get a black pen or a black marker, a black pencil and do a black background. Yes, that bit is reasonably simple. You do need the right tools, but we'll talk about that much later on. However, prepping up first, getting the colours of the items on the page isn't as easy as I thought when I first did it. So I thought I would show you because I made mistakes and hopefully you can learn from my errors. So what I first thought was that you would do nice pale things and then they would really stand out from the black. Wrong. Pale, like pastels, they look very wishy-washy when they have a black background. They really don't look too good. So what you need is some nice, bright, vibrant colours. So we are going to start, just looking at what we've got here. We've got these two are the same. So we're going to do these two in the same colours. And we're going to do some really bright reds and oranges. I've got my Pablo pencils. You don't have to use Pablo's. Any bright pencils, you could use your Prismas, your polychromos, anything with a nice selection of bright colours. Now I'm going to do the centre of the flower a little bit darker than the petals. This flower confuses me a little bit in the way that it's drawn, but we'll deal with that. So I'm going to grab the Indian red first. This is a kind of dark, it's one of the darker reds in the set. And I'm going to do the centre. So this confused me. We've got the circle and these sort of cut out bits. And on this one, I don't know. Anyway, I'm just going to start colouring away and see what happens. I'm just going to try and make them look similar. Now I'm going to block this in quite dark in the middle here. I'm thinking there might be quite a lot of shadow in the centre. And we'll just get some colour down. Now these Pablos are quite vibrant, which is really good. But if you're using a less vibrant pencil like a polychromo or even like a Staedtler or something like that, just layer it up a little bit. You're going to need to do more layers to get a vibrant colour. So we're just doing this bit. And then I'm going to have a look because I get a bit confused with this particular flower. Have I done it twice, once, several times? I'm sure I've done it a few times and I get a bit muddled by this and this and this. Now what I think these are gaps in between the petals, and we have the same gaps here. However, we have none of these bits on this one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go back over this a bit, tidy it up, leave those gaps, and like that. And then on this one I think I'm just going to do a little bit in the middle and just take it up, and I want a sort of quite a straight line. Actually these are pointy, aren't they? Let's make it pointy like that. So we've got a little bit there so it looks similar. Otherwise I get a bit muddled as to what else to do really. Oops, a sort of point. You could do however you wish. If you're not confident in sort of freestyling it like this, then just do a circle. You don't have to go into the petals or anything. Or you could just take your petal colour right to the centre. Now where we have these little gaps and things, I'm going to use a darker colour. We have the Bordeaux red, which is our very darkest red. If you've already used your darkest red, use the same red again, but put some black or dark brown or something like that over it. Or you could use a sort of reddish brown. In this set there's like a mahogany, which would do. This actually doesn't look darker to me, it just looks like a different shade. You know, I'm actually thinking that maybe this should be black because it's like we're looking through, but if we look underneath we've got leaves and things, so it's going to be really complicated. If we just do those bits black, I think it's going to look a bit odd, you know, like the background is going to be black. So I think it looks better as if it's sort of some shadow dark shadow where the petals are overlapping, that sort of thing. So that's my thinking. You don't have to do it the same, but that's, I'm just going to now go back to the Indian red and just tidy up a little bit because it's a bit messy. And then we'll do our petals. There, I'm happy now. Okay, so I'm going to use the scarlet red for the part of the petal, and then we're going to go into a slightly different colour. It's actually just called scarlet. And just, yeah, start at the bottom. You can see it's got a bit of a paler colour, but it's still not too pale. We don't want anything too pale, as I said before. And then I'm just going to sort of fade it a bit. I'm ignoring those circles. I'll probably go over those in a pen at the end, a glitter pen, a gel pen, metallic, white, yellow, something. You can tell I haven't made up my mind yet. But so try and make this neat. I've made it quite messy, so I'm just going to try and neaten it up. We want a graduation of colour where it gets a bit lighter towards the tip of the petal. My family have all gone out, so I thought I'd come and record. All the boys have gone for a haircut, so it's a Saturday afternoon. I thought, oh, I'll come and record a little video with you while everyone's out. Cause I've got haven't got much other time this weekend for recording. I had an idea of something I'm going to do on Monday, but for recording wise, it should be fun. But we'll see if I might change my mind by then. Anyway. We'll see. But yeah, they've all they've popped out, so I thought I'd come, and I was, to be honest, I was glad to see the back of them. It sounds so rude. They were having a conversation about maggots. I was like, off you go, bye. It's like, ugh. And it wasn't just maggots, it was food and maggots. I'm not going to go into detail, it was just vile. So, ugh. So it was to do with cheese. Ugh, ugh, ugh. Anyway, they were gone now. Rah! I can think about flowers. I have to think about that. So, ooh, horrible children. Husband wasn't actually, to be fair, he wasn't talking about it. He didn't stop them though. He did, actually was joining in. He was talking about something to do with it. Ooh. Anyway, fortunately, fortunately, by the time they get back, they'll be talking about something else. Hopefully something nicer. But I'm quite excited today. Don't know if you can, I'm not like my usual sort of calm, quiet self. I'm quite excited because it's the Saturday the 28th of October, so I'm getting a little bit ahead of myself. And it's my favourite episode of Strictly Come Dancing tonight. It's the Halloween special. Now, you will know by now that Halloween is not something that I really celebrate. I have enjoyed doing lots of Halloween based pictures, which you will have seen already. And of course Halloween is passed by the time this video is going out. But I like the dancing, the Halloween dancing, because it's like a themed night. I quite enjoy those. And the hair and makeup is always just so amazing. They always have really impressive wigs and makeup and things like that, and they haven't given much away, so we don't know what's going to be happening and what they're going to look like. So it's really exciting. So often they'll have like mummies or vampires, they'll have ghosts and witches, and yeah, sometimes a bit of Dracula or Frankenstein, or magical things, and all sorts. And it's just fun, and they don't make it scary. I hate scary Halloween. I think it's so nasty. I'm not interested in that, which is why I don't open the door to trick-or-treaters, because I get too frightened. So I don't do that. It's quite interesting actually. Yeah, Halloween is Tuesday. It's my niece's birthday. She always used to have a Halloween birthday party. It's her birthday party tomorrow, on the 29th. We're having it early because she's at uni, everyone's at work, blah, blah, blah. So having a little get together tomorrow, which is why I am busy this weekend. But that's rather nice. Family get together, and I'm sure be her and her boyfriend, and her mum's coming down, and her stepbrothers, her sister will be there. I don't know if her sister's boyfriend will be there. No, he plays rugby on a Sunday. He won't be there. Oh, let's do this one. So it'll be a nice group with my parents' house. So it should be fun. I went shopping this morning, got some bits and pieces to contribute. My sister, her husband, her boys and her one daughter are all vegans. Her other daughter is a vegetarian, and as am I-ish. I'm pescatarian. Yes, so it's all, there's loads of fussy eaters. One of them's allergic to cucumber. One of them is, what's he allergic to? Oh, he's got a dairy intolerance, one of them. And, you know, so it's all, really, my poor mum struggles a little. She worries. So I was like, look, I'll bring this and that and the other. So I'm taking some chickpea and lemon dip that I'm going to make for me. I'm also taking some hummus for those that I make my own sort of, it's like a hummus, but it's got no garlic, onion or tahini in because I can't eat any of those. Yay. So I flavour it up with lemon and pepper, black pepper. Usually, I think I'm trying to remember my recipe. So I've got to make that later to take. And I take some oat cakes and some olives and some sort of herby veggie bites, which I think that some of the slightly older children will like, the ones that are actually adults. This is vermillion. My nieces and their boyfriends, because my sister's boys, they struggle more with food. One of them is fussier than the other. One of them really doesn't eat very much variety, should we say. But he eats lots of fruit and veg and stuff. So I think he's okay. It's just a lot of things. A lot of them don't like mushrooms. I think it's a texture thing with mushrooms a lot of people don't like. I don't know, but I love them. Anyway. But I'm just taking a selection of things and we'll see what people like, really. It's nice to contribute. We're lucky we can afford to. My sister her husband only works 2 days a week and she's got 2 kids at home, so it's a bit trickier for her. Whereas, and he doesn't get paid such a high hourly rate. My husband works 5 days a week and I also earn a little bit, not much, but yeah. It all helps. It means I can buy things to contribute when we go out and think, well, that's a bit of my money that's sort of helped out there. Or little gifts for people. You know, I bought everyone an advent calendar, so they've got a little gift and things like that, which I think, well, it's nice to be able to do that when, you know, that just hopefully make them smile. And I'm going to do these bits with this vermilion. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I was actually going to go and see my parents a couple of weeks ago. I thought my boys were home on a Wednesday they're both at home, and I thought, oh, that's fine. I won't need to be home for them. They can make their own lunch and blah, and yeah, I can go out. And I was going to go, but I had a bit of a cold and I just felt a bit ugh. And I decided that firstly I didn't want to spread it to my parents. They'd only just had their sort of winter vaccines, so they were already sort of fighting off. Their immune system was in overdrive, so I thought I don't really want to take them something else. And I just didn't have much energy and I was just sort of fighting off the virus, really. I was fine, you know, and it sort of came back as well. It was a bit of a nasty one, really. My son had it. I think it's sort of fresh as flu, but I didn't get a temperature, he did. But anyway, a lot better now. Just get the old bit of tickly throat. So it's nothing sore or anything, but it's just annoying. But still, we're fine. We're lucky. So that's all good. So I didn't go and see them, so I'm looking forward to seeing them. but we had to sort out parking because they've got parking meters and residents only parking permits that have been put into there. It's not parking meters, parking permits in their street. All of a sudden the council have decided that too many people park in their street to sort of walk into town, and so they're going to make it residents only. It all sounds good. However, if you have a visitor, you have to buy a permit for them and send their number plate, their car registration, to the council so that they don't get a parking ticket. So it's a little bit complicated. So, and my sister just remembered yesterday and went, "What are we doing about parking?" I was like, "Oh." So I called my dad. I messaged my dad, and he said, "Oh, actually, I'm just going to move the car a bit further up the drive, and you should be able to both fit." My sister's got a big people carrier, but he doesn't really like moving his car too far up the drive because his doors hit on the wall of the house if he's not careful. Obviously, he doesn't want to do that. So anyway, then my mum rang me this morning and said, "Oh, my neighbours are going on holiday. I'm just going to do the green leaves." Now, I don't want to go too dark with our green because we don't want it to be camouflaged against our black, but we don't want it light and wishy-washy. So I want an olivey green to go with my red. I think maybe, no, actually no, I'm going to use the grass green. I think I can add in that one, yeah. So I'm going to start with the grass green. I'm going to make it darker and then lighter here, like I did with these. You can't really see a big difference in those, but I'm gonna put a heavier layer here. Anyway, but my mum called me and said her neighbours were going away, and she chatted to them and they said we could use their drive. So there's no parking permits needed for driveways, and they don't have a gate or anything, so that's easy peasy. We can just park there. So that's great. So that makes it simple. But yes, we will have to be thinking about this every time we visit them now. The parking permits for guests are, you buy 10 for £15. So it's about £1.10 each person, which is, and you buy, as I say, you buy 10 at a time. But my mum has a party every Christmas, and that is going to be interesting because lots of people come in their cars, and she's going to have to get them all permits and then hope there's going to be room for them to actually park. But once you've got a permit, you can park within the area, so you don't have to just be in their street, anywhere sort of within all nearby streets as well. But it's very likely that over Christmas people will be at home. I suppose some people go away, don't they? Or they have guests visiting them. Either way, it could be tricky, but we'll just have to wait and see. We did say there is actually a car park in the town centre, which is about 15 minutes walk from their house, and if necessary we could park there. Now, I'm going to use the yellow green. Now, it is quite a light one, and I've sort of said about avoiding colours that are too light, but I went all the way to the end of the leaf with this darker one so that it's a little bit more intense, the colour look, and that was the plan, so that it looks a little bit darker. But yeah, I'm sort of already thinking about Christmas and getting excited. I got my advent calendar through the post today. I'd ordered it from a shop called The Body Shop. It's I don't know if you get it. I know it's a sort of worldwide company that started in the UK, and it's toiletries, as you may have expected. And my dad always used to say, "Can you buy body parts?" He thought it was hilarious, dad jokes, eh? And I just fancy something a bit different. I often get a Lego one, which I love, or sometimes just a paper one. I've got a paper one as well, because I'm greedy. Okay, let's move on to a different flower type. I'm just looking, we've got, excuse me, blowing my nose. We have got these. Let's do these. Are there only two? I'm just looking and checking. Yeah, it's got these two, because I remember this page is actually a big double page in the book. Now I want these to be sort of purple violet-y type colours, but the violet is quite dark. I think I can use it for a little bit and then go lighter, but I don't want to go too light, so it's just getting that mid shade. So here for the violet, I am going to do the centre dot and that sort of round bit. So I'm going to block in some colour like this. Now if you don't have these Pablos and you're using other pencils instead, I do have a chart in my Ko-fi shop where I think I did one for Prismacolor and one for Polychromos, I think. So you can find sort of almost equivalent colours. There are some really unique colours in this set, which is partly why I really like it. But there are similar colours, like this is the, Polychromos mauve, and I think there's a violet. There's a violet in the Prismacolor, which is probably really similar to this. There we go. Now I think I'm going to do the central bit a different colour to the petals. I could use some mauve lilac, which we use. I think I'm going to go with lilac for the centre. It's a slightly pinkier colour. Now this would be like your manganese violet, I'm thinking. I'm guessing, but on the swatch charts I actually, I looked at them and properly did it, but sometimes it doesn't matter if you have a quick guess. I'm trying to make it a bit darker in the middle, but it doesn't really want to, so it's almost just blocked in. Same on this one. Now, what can I say about black backgrounds while we're colouring? If you do it in pencil, it can take a long time. If you want it really, really black, like, so really obviously black, it's going to take a lot of layering. So you can absolutely do it in pencil, but it's much quicker to do it in pen. Now, choosing your pen is important. I'm just picking my next colour. I think I'm going to use the periwinkle blue. It is purple, despite the name, and it's not too pale. And I'm going to do the whole petal in this, but I'm going to try and just make it a little bit darker near to this end, and then lighter to the tip. Yeah, so if you use pencil, you're going to layer and layer and layer. So pen is easier. Now, pens, if you use an alcohol marker, then it's going to bleed through the page. So this particular page, being from the planner, if you're not using the planner itself, the sort of back bit with the writing on, then you could use it, but do put a piece of paper behind at least. If I'm using anything that I think might bleed through the page, whether that be like watercolours or things like that, I always put a laminate behind the page. And I've got a laminated sheet that husband made for me, which has got nothing in it. It's not got any paper or anything between. It's just 2 sheets of laminate stuck together using the laminator, and I use that, and then that's a sort of waterproofy type backing to stop any bleed through. And also I think sometimes alcohol markers will soak into the page, so if you put a dot here it might spread out. I mean, obviously not as much as I'm showing you, that's an exaggeration just to demonstrate my point. So you may want to test them on the paper, whatever paper you might be using first, to see if they do that, because that you might want to be more in control of it or be more careful with it as you use it. So it's up to you, but it's worth being wary of that. What else? Yes, what I tend to use is a Posca marker. Now, they are pretty good. You may have to do 2 coats though with them sometimes. Perhaps it's just me, but I miss areas like I have here. It's probably me. So I sometimes have to go over in a second coat to just cover over the areas that I've missed, but that's okay. that will be my weapon of choice, the Posca. I'm going to just do that lightly, not too lightly. Put a bit of shadow there. There we go. You could also use a water-based marker. They can be quite good, but I find they leave a sort of stripy effect, particularly on a larger area. These areas are quite small, so you might get away with it, but I don't know if you've ever tried it, but I find that I get like a where I overlap a little bit, it then layers up and leaves a sort of stripy line. Plus they can still bleed through the back of the page if you're not careful. You know, if you got a pen and just pressed it on the paper like that and started talking, that would bleed through eventually, you know, and it depends on the type of pen and the colour as to how quickly that may or may not happen, so it's a little bit risky. I have used them for backgrounds. Yes, that's right. I used some Bristol board, which is paper for coloured pencils. It's specifically paper for pencils, and I coloured the background with a black, might have been blue, felt tip pen, a water-based marker, and it was awful. The paper didn't like the wet, and it started shredding off and lumping up and breaking off the page, so I had to be so careful. And so when I was trying to colour in circles like this so that I didn't get this stripy lines, it was just too much wet, the paper couldn't cope. So when I finished, it looked awful. You can imagine, really patchy and nasty. So I rescued it by using some soft pastels on top. And I used a black on top and sort of swirled it round to look like cloud. It was a Halloween picture, luckily, so that was good, so that helped me. So I swirled that round in sort of like cloud-like look, and then put some white on as well and swirled it, and I sort of got away with it. Now we have our leaves. I am going to use the greyish green, it's called. I feel, if you look at it, it's quite a bluey green. It's not really grey, in my opinion. What do I know? And again, just fade it down. So I'm not really showing you very much in this, I don't think. It's more of just a colour and a chat, really. But I hope that's okay. It's with the, because I don't get to choose the planner pages, sometimes I have trouble thinking about what to do for you, how to make it a bit different, that sort of thing. That's why I thought we'd go for the black. Now there is an artist called Maggie Cook. You may see her, she is in a lot of the Johanna Basford colouring groups, and she does a lot of black backgrounds on her pictures, so it's worth having a look at what she does for her pictures. Now she does fire and ice colours, and what she does for that is she uses a red, an orange and a yellow for her fire, and 3 shades of blue, mid, dark and light, for her ice. Those are her favourites, but she does other colour combos too, things like different pinks. Some people, I find the fire quite difficult because blending, she blends them, so she'd start red here, then go orange and go yellow and blends them through. I find it quite difficult blending a red into an orange and an orange into a yellow. It's quite a big jump. I would rather go dark red to mid red to light red to orangey red to dark orange to mid orange to light orange to dark yellow. Do you see what I mean? So you've got a much bigger, easier transition because you're using a lot of pencils rather than just the 3. I mean, obviously, if you've only got a set of 12, then you would only have the 3, but she doesn't. She just chooses to do it that way, and that's absolutely fine. We all do it in different ways, of course. But for me personally, I think doing that I would find that a little bit difficult. But, you know, and the 3 shades of blue is easier. I find blue, you know, blending blue into blue is fairly straightforward. Right, what I'm going to do now, we have a lot of these, loads and loads and loads. I'm going to show you one, and then I'm going to I'm wondering whether actually to show you one of a lot of things. We've got loads of things still left. I don't know. Yeah, I think I'll show you one of these and then do all the rest before tomorrow's video. Now I'm thinking a nice dark pink for this one. We have actually purple. The pinks are really pale. We have to go with the purple and the light purple, I think. Yeah. Sorry, yawning. I don't know. It's the clock changing. Clock's changing tonight. I'll be even tireder. So this is purple, and I'm going to use this for all the gaps. So in here, here. Let me just sharpen. I always find these flowers quite strange to colour. I'm never quite sure what to do with them. But I've made a decision that I'm going to do all the gaps in a darker colour and the edge in the same colour. So it might look like there's another set of petals underneath that you can see through to, or something like that. And then a lighter one on top. It's an exciting week this week. We've got Johanna's new book coming out. I got the date a bit wrong for when it's coming out before, but she would have shared she's sharing a flip through on Halloween, which yeah, we would have all already seen probably by now. Okay, the light purple. Now this isn't, although it's called light purple, I think we're going to get away with it because we've got this outline of dark purple and it's not really pale. It's not pastel. I think pastels are the mistake that I made before. I'm trying to go a bit light towards the edge of the petals. Yes, so flip through the new book. Very exciting. My hope is that I'll do my own flip through as soon as I get my copy and share it with you as quickly as I can. So that day will probably be a double video day because I would have already planned something, and then get working on videos in it as soon as I can. Right, there's that one. Now we have a lot of these. We've got these here, but we've also got here as well, and one here. So I'm going to do, they're quite straightforward, so I'm going to do them all before I start my next video. So that's your homework as well, to do that. And then we've got a lot more still to do flower wise. There's orchids which I always run away from. They're a bit scary. I'm sure I can make it work. There's 2 different types as well and things like that. And we've got these flowers as well. No, that's the orchid. These flowers and these flowers. So we've got a fair bit to do. I've got a few ideas about different colours. Not so sure about the butterflies, but anyway, I have a think. But that is what we have done so far. I'm going to finish the all of these and then take a photo of my page so far. And there's no leaves with these, so it makes it a little bit simpler. It shouldn't take you too long. But that's if you can try and do them before tomorrow's video, then you'll be all ready. But if you don't, it doesn't really matter because you can just catch up at any time. But that is me for today. Just wanting to, you know, keep it fairly simple. But as I say, tomorrow we'll do more flowers. I don't think we'll get, I think this will probably be a 3-parter. But anyway, for now, thank you so much for watching. I do hope that you have a super day and happy colouring.